5-ish. Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome back to DevChatter. My name is Brendan, and with me today, up in the corner up there, is James Chambers. Also goes by Canadian James. You'll never guess where he's from.
Poland?
Yes, he is from Poland, and we just flew him into Canada so that he could fill that role as Canadian James. Yes, Async Awake, he is from Germany. That is correct.
Async Await made a comment about the bakery. Where is that coming from?
Oh, yeah. They apparently know that you have something to do with a bakery and being a monster.
Yeah,
So they apparently know something about you here, James.
I'm a monster baker. That's how it works.
Yes. That is in fact a. If you notice the doll, I don't know if you guys. No, they can't see that. We've got you trimmed down. There is actually a voodoo doll behind him. Look, an exact replica. He'll pick it up for you. There you go. That is James right there. So, okay, let me make sure that James is loud enough for you guys to hear him. So I'm going to do a couple of things real quickly. I'm going to turn off the sound from alerts so you guys don't go deaf. James, talk, please.
I will do some talking right now with words, mostly in the English language.
All right, everybody, he's not deafening, right? Good volume, you can hear him. Always best to check with them because your volume's fine in my ears.
They're going to be honest, right? That's.
I mean, as honest as you can expect from a bunch of people on Twitch. All right, thanks, Async Awake. Much appreciated. All right, cool. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. The first thing I'm going to do is click... what? The mic is not muted. Don't give me that WTF blub. You got me to... So luckily, all I have to do is look at my Stream Deck, and it tells me whether or not it's muted. Like, because it's got an I've got a button for that. Trolls. Yeah, see? I love these guys. They're pretty funny. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and click this button without showing you guys anything. That's how brave I am. I didn't review this, didn't look at it. No one else has seen it, and I clicked all the buttons.
Oh my gosh. I don't think that's Did you just self-merge?
Not only did I self-merge, I self-approved, and I didn't even let anybody else see it. It wasn't even around long enough for that.
My goodness.
Actually, this is literally what I did, guys. I chopped some stuff we don't need. If it breaks stuff, I apologize. Yeah, I was just messing with you guys. Anyway, so here's what we're actually going to work on today. This is NSFW content on stream. We are, it's not safe to merge things at work. So that's what we mean by not safe for work. Okay, so as everybody probably can tell, we are going to do a fun stream today, which I know is not normal for us. We don't normally have fun streams here. We normally go through the drudgery of writing code and looking at text on stream, which for some of us is actually fun. So, James, have you been keeping up on the stream? Do you know any of the stuff we did recently? If not, I can catch you up on some of those.
Give me a catch up. I think I saw or watched a little bit from 3 ago, but I missed the last 2 for sure. So.
Okay, so we got a couple of things, like a quiz game now exists that you can join. And our plan with that, as we've mentioned before, is to have this concept of like a joinable game. So we're thinking there'll be a lot of types of games where someone might want to join in and then the game will happen. So you need to get a set of players first before you actually do it.
Right. So like even something campaign based, or I mean, if you wanted to go real big or adventure game or something, or even a minimum number, like you can't play poker with one person.
Correct. Yep. And so that's the idea, is like some kind of a joinable game. So we made the quiz a joinable game, and so you'll see everybody types quiz join and hops into the game, and that works pretty well. So then once it starts, it's going to ask us a question. Now here's the problem. This question comes through in our chat box, which is not ideal, as you can probably guess. So actually, I'm just going to toss this on screen just so everybody can actually see what's on here. You guys don't need the whole thing. How about that? There we go. I think you can see that. So, pops up, it gives us this message here, and it's like, hey, this. And clearly the answer is B. which I of course know because the best C# Twitch streamer is clearly me. I have more modesty than any other Twitch streamer out there, and that's
Easily the
why
easily the most modest of
easily
yeah.
most modest and most alphabetically after DevChat that exists right now is DevChatter, right? See?
Yeah, exactly.
Clearly, and alphabetically after DevChat is clearly DevChatter, which is why that's what makes a good Twitch stream. So clearly I got the right answer, and WTF Blub doesn't get any points because he chose C# Fritz, which is probably the second best C# Twitch streamer out there.
So yeah, it's a contender for sure.
Sure. Anyway, he's been streaming, easily twice as long as I have. Banhammer incoming. Yeah. Thanks, Async Awake. Yeah, we don't want those kinds of people around here. The people that vote against us. So anyway, that's the quiz game, and it works pretty well for what it needs to do. So it's got things like, in terms of its joining stuff, like if you try to join and you're already in there, it yells at you, if there's no quiz going and you try to join, it yells at you, and it yells at you a lot if you try to do things that aren't correct.
So basically, you've got the yell engine going? Okay.
Yes, precisely. And we figure that is going to be reused in any joinable game that we set up, so it makes sense. And also, so it mentions it's on cooldown, and I don't know why it told you that twice.
It just really wanted to assert its position.
Okay, so there's some kind of weirdness with that. Maybe we have both cooldowns running. We might have both cooldowns. Either way, we're not going to mess with that one today. But what we are going to do, I just wanted to show you like one of the new things that we've added since you've last been here.
For sure. Now, there's a couple of pull requests on there. Do we want to blow through those quickly too?
One of them is going to sit, so we can talk about those. So, well, this one, Arid Tag's been working on this, and I need to also help with this one because the Discord implementation is not like this is just a getting other people's attention. It's not really expected that this one's going to merge yet because it's not done. So the idea is this is making it so the bot supports a whole other chat system. So in addition to Twitch, so it's rather large. So I'm probably going to hold off on bringing this one in just yet until we've figured out a nice way of configuring this, right, which we're going to want to do probably from a web interface. So what that means is that we need to build a web interface of some kind so we can do configuration of the application.
Ooh,
oh man, oh geez, devil, you don't like poutine and maple syrup? Come on.
Winter?
In winter. Or hockey? You don't like hockey? This is like all of Canadian culture here is hockey, maple syrup, and poutine. And being bilingual. Did I miss anything, James?
No, I think you got it. I mean, we also invented lumberjacks. But I think that's it.
Yeah.
No one ever cut a tree down until Canada was around.
Lumberjacks are okay. I'm really hoping someone got my joke. It was very, very subtle there. You need to start singing now, James. You know that you're a lumberjack. And anyway, what does no poutine, not Putin.
Yeah, poutine. No, we're talking about
a totally different thing. Async Awake.
Yeah.
As poutine is a food. Cobalt, hello, welcome. Devil23. I like all that. Oh, okay. Canada's fine. Yeah. Well, wait. You're telling me that Devil23 doesn't like is from England? Oh, from New England. Oh no.
New England.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed that. Yeah, never mind. Yeah, we're cool. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, guys. So we want to go ahead and work on ASP.NET. So let's get started with some of this. So I want to get us on a branch, first off. Because branches are important to what we do here, because there is a good chance that we're going to break things. And by break things, I mean it is almost a guarantee that we're going to do things that would break things if we don't get them to completion before merging them in. So I don't want to put these on master, because we need to complete this task first. Since we're committing on mine, I'm going to set up a branch for us, and what am I going to call this? ASP.NET stuff. Do you have 2.1 installed?
Great. I do not, but I can work on that real quick.
It's not exactly an upgrade because we don't have ASP.NET in here at all yet. Conversion.
Conversion?
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Convert to ASP.NET from .NET, which I guess is I guess it's convert to ASP.NET Core from .NET Core. We'll say. That's probably close enough to what we're doing. All right, so now we should be inside of a branch. At least Devil 23 knows. Wait. Out of curiosity, Devil, you're not from like you're not from Massachusetts, are you? Because if you are, then I've worked with people from Massachusetts before, and they have the best name that they almost nicely referred to themselves by. It rhymed with it. They basically said a word that wouldn't be that one, Arid Tag. I was gonna say the one I'm not gonna say on stream, because all they did was take a word that's not exactly nice and they add an M to the beginning. Yeah, see, there we go. Yeah, see, I figured the way you said chowder and everything, I was like, oh geez, he's probably Massachusetts, I bet. Yeah, see, there you go, Arid Tag as well. Yep. They're a good amount of yeah. Yeah, see, I didn't say it. Arid Tag apparently said it, but yeah, they would. Jeez. See. Yep, there you go. Arid Tag is already blocked. Nice. All right, guys. So let's add an ASP.NET project. There's no way this could go wrong.
It's gonna work well. First try.
Yeah, first try. Always first try. Web application.
Now, just how's your tooling and framework situation as far as updates and versions go?
We'll find out. Actually, hang on. Apparently I left that project there from some previous time that I've messed with this. So I'm going to go into that folder and nuke that thing wherever it is. Because it just yelled at me that I already have this project, but I don't believe it. I mean, I believe it, but I don't really have it. So it and I are going to fight, because them's fighting words. And now I just want to make sure that this didn't... Yeah, that's so weird. It's in there, but somehow this project claimed it didn't exist. Maybe it's because maybe it was an empty folder. I bet it was an empty folder.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, because Git would ignore an empty folder, and Visual Studio would complain that there was an empty folder already there.
Exactly.
Also, I want to do that real quickly. Okay, so only temperature. Okay, that's fine. 2.1 web application. Do we want to add auth to this at the beginning or not? I'm going to say no, because I'm worried it's going to add entity framework stuff that's going to be duplicate of what we've already got. So let's not click that.
We can just pull in the pieces that we need to.
Yeah, because we already have that, so we could make another project and bring it in if we want. Yeah, sorry, Cobalt. We knew we were going to have to do this eventually, and it doesn't necessarily have to go on the interwebs anywhere.
If it's running locally, then
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cobalt. So at the beginning, this is going to be a locally running application, because we want for the live stream to be able to pull it in and put it over our screen. So That's the idea. We looked at this once before and established that we wanted to wait until 2.1 came out, and they gave us a release candidate with a go live license. So I don't know about you, but I think that's basically getting it to us.
That's right close there. Now, and as far as authentication goes too, we don't have to go too far down that path. We can do a couple of things like only run it locally, whitelist IPs for clients. There's a couple of things that we can do to make it secure without actually going end to end with security. So
Yeah, exactly. And I figure we can add authentication when we're going to send it up somewhere. That can be a later thing if we need to. Okay. So this should have given us an app that we can get running here. There we go. Just realized. So if I'm running that one, can I should be able to run this other one too.
Yeah, you should be able to start without debugging. Yeah.
Yeah. View in browser. Let's see if it picks the right browser. Hey, it did. Yes. When you have 3 Chrome windows open and it picks the right one, that is, you know, worth clicking that button. So, okay. What do we want to do with this? Chop all the stuff we don't care about first?
Yeah, that's not a bad place. Go and blow out index.
What do you think? Delete all that stuff before we do our first commit? I'm thinking yes.
Yeah, I usually like to get that gutted out before we get started. So
that way we don't have any record of it in our project. So I'm going to nuke the banners because we don't need those. But I'm going to leave the images folder there because I think that this is a decent structure in the base of the root, having CSS images, JS, and lib. I don't know if there's any Canadian code in here, Devil.
Well, actually, if you want to go that route, Andrew Nurse is the project manager for. He's done Razor. He did the original prototype for Razor. He wrote that. He is a project manager on NuGet, and that is a Canadian guy. So you can take out package management in the Razor View engine, and we should be good to go.
Okay, sounds good. I'll do that.
Now, to be fair,
Worldwake, welcome. To be fair, what?
There's just a lot. There's a lot more people than just Canadians working on that.
Well,
so it's got to be reviewed by at least one non-Canadian.
You mean there's more than one person that builds the ASP.NET stuff?
There's like 7.
Yeah, it actually surprises people how few members there actually are in the team.
Yeah, I always kind of imagined it as this big group at the mothership with like dozens and dozens of people that are supported by dozens and dozens of people, and you go and meet the team and it's like, yeah, there's like 7 or 8 key folks there, and then just as many people working in documentation.
Okay, so just so everybody knows, I am just zipping through and clearing out some of the stuff that we don't care about. Also, it still bugs me. Okay, so this is now fixed. In .NET 2.1 is where they updated this to be like copyright 2018 in the template. It just bugs me that the old one was just hard-coded to 2017. I'm like, guys, why wasn't this some kind of variable in the template or something to get current year?
Yeah, it's actually a good example of having, like, there's a lot of ways that you could do that, like, to demonstrate things like setting a variable at the top that's using, the year from like a datetime.now, or setting it. Well, I mean, it's in the layout. It's not a great place to demonstrate a view model, but there's other things that you could have demonstrated there.
But they also could have made it so that the template had some kind of variable in it also. So even if they wanted this to be hard-coded instead of being variable-based, so it wasn't, changing every year, you could also just write it so that it, when you create your project, it puts the date. Whatever year you make the project, it puts in. So, anyway, kind of silly. I'm going to chop that piece there. And everything, I think that might be everything that we actually need to clear out of here before we start. Before we get this. Can you think of anything else that needs to...
if you want to go to the... Did you nuke index? I mean,
I
you could
left
go
it
in and
there.
clear
It's
the
empty.
content.
Yeah, I just
Yeah.
cleared the content out of it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wait, what?
Oh, cool.
What was that? Why can't I open that?
I wonder if.
Can
I
you
wonder.
open it?
Let me have a look-see here. So.
All the JS needs to go. We need fancy WebAssembly in this joint. Okay, so we are actually talking about doing Blazor for this potentially. So Blazor with SignalR is an option for how we do this.
Yeah, I think that's what we were funning on when we were chatting it up. I do see I'm able to get into index.cshtml and index.cshtml.cs.
Huh. Wonder why it won't let me in there.
It's interesting because I don't get the page grouping that you get with the twirl down arrows, but that might be just a result of us using
LiveShare for this?
LiveShare, yeah, and it's not properly aggregating the grouping or something like that.
Let me see if it will let me watch you. There we go. Go into a file. Try opening up the index CSHTML, or the not the CS one, the actual view.
Yeah. So I'm in error. Are you following me?
I was trying to.
Okay, you should be able to pin me. Where is that? Okay, requested that you to follow them. I can follow you. You just asked me to follow you. Can I ask you to follow me? Yeah, I'm following you around now. Let me see if I can request you to follow. How did you invite me, or how did you ask me to follow you? Invite me to follow you.
I have no idea. I just clicked on stuff.
Cool.
Oh, wait, maybe it's when I clicked. Maybe focus participants means follow me? Did that just prompt you again?
We're on the same screen already, so okay. Here, I'm gonna go on a journey. Did you follow me in?
No, I'm not following you right now. We're testing out VS LiveShare, figuring out what this does right now, with a couple of things. So.
Yeah, if anybody's wondering what's going on, we are trying to collaborate at the next level. So, oh, I see. It's having me follow you now. So.
There should be a way for you to get off of that. Yeah, exactly.
I just unclicked it.
Hey, beta test it. We're testing a public preview. Come on, Blub. Public preview. Clearly not a.
There's a JC icon up in the top right-hand corner there. If you double click on that, click on it, what is it? Does it take you to me? No, hey?
I mean, you can see me clicking on it if you're watching the screen share, right? Oh, actually, wait. Oh. Somehow About got opened up.
Yeah, that was me. Okay, I'm going to try and open another error. Page. Yeah. You may have toggled me off, but... Okay, that should... I think it needs to have the circle around it.
Weird. Oh, there we go. You went to the code behind that file, I think.
On About?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let me try getting into index.cshtml. I just switched in. So... Oh, you can't follow me in there, hey?
No, I think that file might be broken on my end. Like, there's something going on with Visual Studio. It won't load it for me. I can't load the index file for some reason. But either way, we'll have you make all the edits in there if we need them then.
Perfect. Perfect.
Rather than reload Visual Studio, because it's just not worth it, especially when there's two of us. It's like watching two people play Battleship. Yeah, exactly. We can't see each other's screens. Which you'd think we'd be able to. Anyway, okay, so what do we want to work on here? So we got this running.
What are some of the parameters that you want to make configurable?
So there's a handful of things. Some of the items that are currently, and I actually am safe doing this, currently inside of our app settings that we want to put in our app settings.json, I would love to have eventually be configurable. So things like, I would eventually like to make it so that the Twitch client settings, for example, we somehow edit those in there so that people don't have to go into the config files. They can run the bot for the first time, and we can say, hey, yeah, we need to configure this. So that's like
we
a
don't have any
long-term
values here.
Yeah.
So you already have an object for Twitch client settings? Yeah?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Because you'll be loading it out in your startup,
Yep.
I'm assuming.
Yep, exactly. So we don't necessarily want to do this one just yet, because this one's a little tricky, because it's the whole wire-up connection to Twitch.
Sure.
But some of the other ones, like, what are the cooldowns, for example, for all the different commands and the general ones, those would all be nice to be able to configure, as well as, like, modifying really any of our models that we thought would be interesting to modify are things that I think could end up in here. So that would include things like being able to edit the list of quiz questions, or be able to edit the list of quotes.
Maybe the display name of a command, because somebody wants it to be hang woman instead of hang man to be more inclusive.
Correct. Yes. Or hang James for suggesting that.
These are things.
It's getting way too long. There's a reason that we go to HM already, so it would be HM and HW. Because Hangwoman is just too long to type. It's already hard enough to play the Hangman game if you actually typed Hangman.
There you go.
For what he's talking about, for anybody that doesn't know, we have a Hangman game on the bot, which I just started right here, and so you'll notice in chat that it does that, but in order to guess a letter, I have to type HME and HMA. So if I had to type Hangman every time I did that, I would go crazy. That's why we have these aliases that make it a little bit easier for us. Oh, I know the word. Oh, whoops. Done. I win. Victory. It's almost like I know the whole list of words that's in there.
It's like you've seen them before.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. That actually is the perfect time to mention quote 3. I got to it before Async Awake could. Okay, so that's what we want to build. So what do we want to put on this website? Yeah, Janiscu, we should have copy pasta in there also.
"10 minutes between hangmans." Cool. Okay, well, how do we want this to be done? Is this a property that how do you aggregate this out to whatever's doing cooldowns?
So right now they're coming off of the object, so we don't have one for cooldowns necessarily. We'd have to make that data. But once we make that data, it'd be pretty easy to modify that data in here, right?
Yeah, like, I mean, and then the question is do you want to persist it as well? Like, do you want that? Are we saving configuration state between sessions? Because right now with a file we are, right?
Yeah. No, I would suggest that we get everything to. We try and get as much as we can into the database for this, and the database will persist it between sessions then.
Exactly.
Yeah, Janiscu, we noticed. I think there's 2 cooldowns. I think we didn't get the old cooldown system turned off. So, yeah, we saw that. That's not the bug we're working on today. However, I'm sure that is something to do with why. Command tracker. And what's this one? Simple command? Nope. Well, I don't know why then. So, okay. Stuff to take a look at. There's always stuff to take a look at.
It's the beautiful thing about code.
All right.
Always going to be changes to make.
So we have a web page. What do we want to be the first thing? How about a page for like the commands that we have initially, like the start and stop the bot commands? So we have start and stop the bot, which are the ones that run right now. So
Mhm.
if we're going to move the bot out of its console application into this, I think it would make sense to bring those over first.
Sure. Let me just go and check something really quickly.
Okay.
I just noticed if you follow me, I'm going to do something that I think is. Oh, you got a.
Yeah, I got an error. I have no idea where you went.
I'm on layout.cshtml. Oh, look at that! They actually fixed the template.
What?
That's crazy. They added a container for the body content. Okay, that's cool. I just wanted to. I was gonna go wrap the render body in a div, but we don't need to do that because they've already done that. So that's good. So if we go to index.html, now are you? You're not able to go into index.cshtml.
No, I can't. Yeah. And
Ah,
the funny part is James can't hear the music when it's playing, guys. So that's the funny part. He's just going along, and I'm just sitting here with like the sad music playing.
um. Okay, so how would you like to do this then? Because we are in a bit of a situation here.
What is
You
going
can't.
on?
You're unable to
I
see.
know, right, Janiscu? Oh man, I need to. Oh, thanks, Microsoft. We blame you.
Wah, wah.
All right.
Okay, here's what we could like. I mean, I'm happy to code along, and then you could refresh and see the changes. So,
Yeah.
uh,
Hang on. Here's what
no,
we're gonna do. Well, yeah, we could do that. I was just gonna restart Visual Studio real fast.
sure. You'll have to just send me the link then too.
Yeah, I'll send you a new link.
Okay.
Oh, it wants to save the files. We'll see what happens. I
Oh,
assume that's James's changes that I just saved there.
I had just backed them out, so
Okay.
we'll see if I don't know if I hit save or not on
Yeah,
my
who
end.
knows what it'll be. We'll take a look. It can't be that bad, right, guys?
I'm so excited.
Build your first app in 5 minutes. Thanks. I'd
If it,
love to
if it
build my
takes
first
five,
app.
if it takes 5 minutes to build an app, and that's you've written too much code. If that's your first app, and
Cobalt, not exactly. So this is VS LiveShare. So essentially, he's connected in, and he's working through in his Visual Studio on the code that's in mine.
and it is actually like really cool talking with Anthony Vanderhorn. He's the project manager on the team. He said that's basically like they are shipping. They've turned it into an IDE as a service. So the entire thing runs in the background. It does pre-compilation. It's sending information over
New link
the
sent.
wire. Perfect. I'm just joining now. It sends it over the wire so that I get things like IntelliSense, and I can see test results, and if there's a shared like using Visual Studio Code, if or anything that actually like if Brent and I had if we had some background process watching the files, we could actually have the changes happen and trigger rebuilds on the other end of the wire there and stuff. So there's some cool stuff that it does.
Yes, Cobalt. It is an extension that you can install, and it's in public preview.
And you can be running Visual Studio 2017 on Windows 10 and live code share with somebody on VS Code in Linux.
Yep.
It's all fun in those kinds of ways.
It's really amazing. It's set up really well, and it's really cool. So we are running into a couple of bugs here, but keep in mind that, like, again, public preview. So no, it's actually public preview now. And also, good afternoon, Ivan. Yeah, this is now a public one. It used to be private, so we had been using it here back when it was still a private preview. But
Yeah.
this is not even beta yet. So
I just found something interesting that does not work while we're in CodeShare. Zen tools do not work, so I'm not getting my auto completion on that. So I don't know if you've seen that, Brennan, but if you do div.md
yep,
call,
it'll set up a div for you with that class, and
yeah, and you could do like have a paragraph inside each one. So I can now have 4 3 wide columns with a paragraph in each one or whatever. But okay, so I'll just do it the old hand bomb way.
This is so terrible. We're having to actually write HTML by hand.
Do you know? I should probably check what version of Bootstrap are they throwing in here now.
I don't know what is the default one these days, but let's take a look.
Yeah.
Bootstrap.
libdist css.
337.
Okay, we're still in 3. Okay, so call md3. Here's what I'm thinking. We should probably have something. Oh gosh.
Yep.
Probably have something as a sidebar to navigate between, and then just kind of the main part of the page. So here we can have some kind of nav bar thing going on, and then over here we can have our main content. So a good one for in here is going to be, now I'm going to just pop over off screen for a little bit and just copy in some stuff. We're just going to do a really quick mock-up, I think.
Sounds good.
Some components and
it's nice to be able to see the index.cshtml file.
Right?
I have no idea what that was. That was a really weird error. Luckily, it's recorded on this stream, so I can ping the guys at Microsoft and be like, hey, look at this. I have a recording of this.
Exactly.
That's how you get bugs fixed. You actually have recordings of what you were doing when stuff went wrong.
I'm just adding in some mocky content or whatever, and we'll just figure out what this might look like.
One of these days, I'm gonna see if I can find a nice library that can get me like fake data for testing and stuff like that. Just automatically like generate it.
Generate it like at like a kung fu level, hey? Like
just... Yeah. Yes, exactly. One of these days, I'm gonna do something like that.
Let me see what else might be good here. Oh, I know what we can do. We can throw some panels in here. Okay, boom. Okay, save that out. Let's have a quick run there and see how she looks.
Right. Let's go ahead and click this button, and then click this other button, like that one there.
The joke used to be, do you remember the MCSE certification? The tests were all like just multiple choice or whatever. So the whole joke was click, 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 MCSE.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. I like it. It's good stuff.
Yeah, so the only thing would be that we would probably want to have, see, the body spacing is always messed on the initial thing, so let me just update some CSS for you really quickly. Padding top, 75px, boom. You hit refresh there, it's going to be joy and pleasure.
Sounds good. I'm sure it's going to... Hang on.
It's going to be dramatic. It's going to be dramatic.
I'm not sure it got saved, so I did that so that we'll actually see it. Did you do it?
Yeah, I did do the save.
Did you? Oh, there we go. Hey! Woo!
Hey-o.
Yeah, it works. Look at that, everybody.
Okay, so
I forgot I had to actually do a force refresh on this side. The CSS gets cached. I wish they did a CSS cache busting by default in ASP.NET Core.
So there is, I feel like there should be. They added some bits to that in the layout. I thought there was like an environmental thing where it pulled in.
It might be.
It doesn't appear to be working. If it is, but...
Yeah. Well, either way, let's take a look again at this. So okay.
Okay, so maybe some of these items are like bot administration. So that might be our first panel where we actually have. These badges actually. This could be fun because this could actually show you how many people are currently like interacting with the bot or something like that.
Yeah.
We could wire that up with some kind of background signal R thing down the road or something. So
yeah, because there are a number of things that we could do with that. For example, like if a game was starting, for example, we could have the badge saying something about that. Like maybe even have the timer for how long until cooldowns are done or whatever.
Yeah. Now, would it make sense to have like an LI here for every item that was in the, like every command? I guess probably not every command. Although maybe commands need their own configuration. Maybe there needs to be a separate page going to
I
commands.
think there might be we probably want to have a page of command configuration stuff.
Yeah.
Because,
so this could just even be a link then.
Yeah.
And I'm just like totally mocking this out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, no, I agree. And these can all just be non-working links at first.
Yeah. So there's command configuration. There can be current chat voyeurism, and then that's the 14 people on. What else should we plop into there? So we've got this idea that this bot administration might be something that gives us.
I think that's the thing that's like start and stop the bot and also set up its connection to Twitch or whatever.
Right.
I think would all be under that. And welcome Twitchloff and Malachi.
Okay, so in our panel body here, we're probably going to have some more.
Yeah.
So the kinds of things that we're putting in here are going to be like turn bot on off. We'll have Twitch configuration.
Yep.
There will be bot greetings. Do you do things like that? Do you have like a greeting when someone joins, or not so much?
Yeah, we have a lot of those kinds of things. So there is a greeting when it enters the chat, and then there would be like new follow welcome and a new subscriber message. So things about that. So yeah, greetings, of which we'd have a handful. Fare thee well. Yes. Yep.
That's got to stay now. That's like, I mean, I'm committing it, and it's gonna just be part of the code base.
Yes.
There's no more goodbye. It's now fare thee well. New subscriber.
Yep.
And what else did you say?
New follower.
Okay.
So it does both of those, yeah.
Okay. So
another panel that we might want to set up. So this one is a command, but I think this one feels to me like it should be separate. Which would be like automated messages. So it's the like periodic messaging thing. Because they're not triggered by a command, if that makes sense.
So sure. Sorry. Go over how these are used. What's an example of this?
Look in chat right now.
Yeah.
And see the most recent message in chat that's from the bot.
Yeah.
That's an example.
Feel free to follow along, make suggestions, ask questions, and those are that's a classification of what is the command, or what is that?
So that basic that is we have those in our database, and I forget what we call them in the database. They're like an automated message. Let's see, what's the table called? Interval message. So, yep, there you go. With the idea being that over some time period, it'll send these messages out again. And we might make it more interesting at some point. So right now, they're just based on a time. And just when that timer hits, it sends that message. But something else we could do that might be more interesting later is changing it so that maybe it's grabbing from a set of messages, and every once in a while, and you set frequency. There's a million ways you could do some kind of automated messaging. But clearly we want to configure it somewhere in a site rather than what we have today, which is there's actually no way to configure these right now.
Right.
So.
Well, so this will give us some opportunity for some.
Yep. Because I didn't, I thought about putting these into the bot as actual command, like a command that adds these. But adding and editing these just seems like something you're not really going to do much during the stream. Whereas like a quote happens live and you want to add that during the stream. Or like adding an alias is like, oh, someone tried to do this command using that. We should allow that. And you add an alias for it, right? Those seem like during the stream you want a mod to be able to just make those changes.
Can you throw up that schema again for that table?
Yeah, sure. Actually, we can just go to the object.
Oh, sure.
Because that's going to be under data, model, and then interval message. So it's right here. So it has a integer delay in minutes, and it's got a string for message text.
Okay.
So, which actually, now that I think about it, we should be doing this based on a model object, because we're going to be binding for this anyway.
Like in terms of.
We should go to the page model for the index CSHTML, so the index CSHTML CS, and put a model object on that for this to bind to if we can.
Yeah.
To put that, at least for the label, even if we're going to do some kind of JavaScript binding or something like that to get the data in there, at least for the label we're going to bind it, I think.
Okay, so now this is going to be the repeating section.
Welcome, Augie Twitch. That would be James Chambers up there, which I assume is what you're talking about.
Okay, so let's have why don't we have a look to see how this is.
Let's take a look at what it looks like.
Oh, this is all going to look gross, actually, though. Hang on a second.
That's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Don't worry, I saved mid change there, so it's going to look really bad. Okay. I'll see what else you changed. You got more. All right, there we go.
You might have caught me mid-tag edit, which would...
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
There we go.
we can always refresh the page again. Okay, so that looks nice. Interval messaging, we have delay in minutes, and then those will be editable at some point, like either through like a click thing or maybe click in their box and they become editable, something like that. But in some way edit these, and those look nice. Yep, looks good. I like it. I think that'll work.
Okay, so some kind of...
Yeah, I know,
thing.
right? Some kind of thing.
Some kind of thing is taking shape. Okay, now, so this starts to get us an idea of what this might look like. We're doing the job of the designer today. And as we were talking here a couple of minutes ago, speaking of bakery, we had someone go home sick. So I am going to be called out here in about 10 minutes. So I need to figure out how I can most contribute.
So you're going to be a baker today is what you're saying?
I'm going to go and do the bakery thing. Yeah.
So for anybody that doesn't know, in addition to being an expert programmer, James is also a baker's assistant, we'll say? Baker's assistant?
Yeah, well, my wife is definitely the baker, and she's teaching me, but I make a pretty mean pain au chocolat.
I don't even know what that is.
That is a croissant that it's got 2 dark chocolate batons in it. It's just absolutely you eat it warm. It's like 81 layers of delicious buttery pastry dough, and it's wrapped around 2 batons of dark chocolate, imported dark chocolate. They're fabulous. Okay.
I know,
so
right?
Probably don't need to do all this markup. Is someone telling you just to Google it? Is that the thing?
No.
Oh.
What's your code generator thingy called?
Genfu.
Genfu, that's what it is. Right, like this. Yeah, there we go.
That is .io.
Genfu. Found it.
You can hit the IO there. This is a fun thing. So if you click on just down below the bottom, try Genfu out, you can see there's an object there, just a class person. You hit generate test data, and what that does is it actually compiles the object on the server and then goes off and just fills it up with random data. So it has an internal database that it uses and some general rules so that you see age isn't a negative number. It'll never be over, like I think it's got a cap of 112 or something like that. We found the oldest living human, and that's what it was. So, and then a database, you can put in like things like date, and it'll fill that in as well, so you can go and add a property up there or whatever, but you can go put title in there, so just do a public string title get set. and it's going to assume it's a certain kind of password. Very nice.
Now
Well, it's
I
a
can get
string.
James's password.
Oh shoot, it's gonna show it, isn't it?
Oh man, those are great passwords in there.
Yeah, it sure didn't do a great job of that. That's actually an interesting that's an interesting filler. So hey, it's open source, and you can do we accept pull requests.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
so there we go.
So yeah, I've known this thing exists. That's why I was making a joke earlier about needing to get test data because I know about this project. I hear it's good. Anyway,
The quotes at the bottom of the page are actually pretty awesome from the ASP.NET team. But anyways, okay, so let us figure out where we can. So I'd like to join you again here soon if we could do some more progress on this. I imagine you're gonna use leaked password files. I love it. We can just
yeah.
stream it in from Have I Been Pwned or something. Use their database or whatever.
You might be. I was gonna say like I don't know if Have I Been. Do they make theirs like actually open?
Oh, they probably don't. They probably
I
don't.
don't think they do, but they pull from sources that where you know, like they get theirs from other places that we'll say are
Yeah.
open. So
They're dark
yes,
places, but
exactly.
they're open if you've got
Yeah,
the
no,
right
it seems like a
keys.
bad idea for Gen Fu to use that kind of data, as hilarious as that is, and as accurate.
Yeah.
Seems like a tough choice. So what is this? Stubbed in
Mockup.
UI. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. Adding mockup UI for bot. Sounds good.
Sounds good. Maybe you're streaming again on Thursday afternoon.
I am. Do you
I could
wanna? Do you
probably,
wanna? I've
yeah, I
got
can
the
join you
spot
for
open if you want. Yeah.
I could join you for at least an hour again. So
Yeah.
if you want to do that again, we'll rehash some stuff here. And good luck with the rest of the session today. Thanks everyone for poking fun of Canada and.
James represents all of Canada, just so you know.
Well, absolutely. I'm actually 11,972nd in line for Prime Minister, so.
That's actually closer than I thought.
Okay, so I will join you guys in a couple of days.
Sounds good. Thanks for hanging out, James, and we
Yeah, you
will
bet.
see you later.
Chat soon. Bye.
Bye. Yes, that's right. You heard the Skype sound because he was totally there. And Twitchloff with the biddies. Thank you, Twitchloff. Much appreciated. Why did that not disappear yet? Oh, am I still in studio mode? I'm still in studio mode. There we go. It's gone. Fixed. Okay. Let's see. What did everybody say? Stream's been going for an hour. Yep. Async Awake, thanks for dropping by. Master James is good. All James in Canada. Yes, there are a lot of Canadian Jameses, actually. For every secure situation, I'd consider downloading such a file and compare every password to that file and deny them. Yes, Cobalt, that would actually be a nice thing for systems to do. Block the use of known passwords, because they are much more likely to be guessed by password systems. And everyone, you should make sure that you request that next time that James is on the stream, that he bring pastries for everyone. Or at least enough to share. So, like, you know, we could split one giant pastry among all of us. I think we'd all appreciate that. So, I'm going to put James on the calendar for Thursday. And for anybody that doesn't know, all of our code is out on GitHub, and that actually includes this schedule here. Our usual schedule you can find down below to see when we're going to be streaming. I'd like a pastry, exactly. And a pastry for you, and a pastry for you, one for you. Yeah, the chocolate croissant thing. Yeah, James, you got to tell us what the chocolate croissant thing is if you're not gone yet. Yeah, there you go. That one. And welcome, Cobalt. Thanks for following. Oh, geez, I need to lower the volume before you guys go deaf. And I just realized James is gone, so I need to turn on some background music. So have some background music, nice light music to listen to while we write code. Wouldn't want to get too excited. Okay, so we added that mock-up here. We've got that started. So now we can decide, do we want to continue on ASP.NET, or do we want to jump back to some other bot concerns, because there's a couple of things about the bot I don't necessarily want to tackle in this one just yet, because they're going to get messy. But some of the things, like configuration pieces, we can definitely get into. So, why don't we start taking a look at a couple of these? So, where were these? We said delay in minutes. So this value came from something. Code greater than ASP.NET. Okay. I think the Stay Hydrated bot has a crush on DevChatter bot. Keeps dropping by casually every stream. Yeah, the Stay Hydrated bot's just checking in on me. I don't know how it ended up coming into chat. Someone must have told it to come in here and remind me to stay hydrated. But it is actually right. It's important that you stay hydrated while you stream, because there are a lot of people that do all-day streams. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got here then. So what I'm going to do, we have this out on this branch, so I am going to let that one sit for now, and we're going to jump back, since the only person that requested anything specific mentioned code over ASP.NET, so we are going to jump to that. Oh, Twitch Loft, hey, don't do the Pepsi Man button. I was just kidding, guys. Not even drinking Pepsi. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this. Jump back into this project. We are going to go over to the DevChatter bot project, which is right here. I am not going to pull request that in just yet. Good try, though, thing. Default operations, caching, ASP.NET conversion, joinable game. Ooh. We could definitely mess with joinable game. Let's go mess with joinable game. So this is going to reload. It's going to remove the web project because we're off on a branch that doesn't have the web project, but I'm pretty sure it's leaving that folder there, so we'll see. So now once we do this, we are going to end up with... well, actually, it might not build right now because I've got this running. So let's kick the bot out for a second. And I'm going to bring the bot back in. So here's the bot again, and its logging is running. We keep seeing that. Let's take a look at the joinable game stuff. So we're going to jump over to joinable game, which apparently we were last working on 3 days ago. And while we do that, I am going to open up my Git shell so that I can mess with a couple of things. Come on. Come on, Git. Alright, toss this on the screen so you guys can see what I'm doing. There we go. They were build errors, really? That's actually kind of surprising. Did we really commit with build errors? I'm actually kind of surprised we would have done that. It's possible if we were in the middle of something, we might have just, you know, done it and wrapped up, but I think it's more likely that stuff just didn't build all the way yet. Oh, I bet I know what happened. I bet I know what's going on. This predates the TwitchLib upgrade, so I bet this is getting confused because it's trying to... So I bet it's maintaining the old TwitchLib stuff, or something like that. So I'm going to do this. How many commits ahead was this? 3 commits ahead? Okay, I'm going to take a chance here, everybody. We're going to take a chance. We're going to do this one together. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to rebase onto master. Don't kill me. Oh, it worked. There we go. So the problem is TwitchLib moved where a bunch of stuff was, so that's why it got kind of wonky here. So TwitchLib was holding some... So the package reference was to the newer version of TwitchLib, and it wasn't letting that go because we had the bot running. And so that's why we're running into that problem. So now the bot is running, and this is the joinable game bot with all that in there. And oh man, oh geez, something happened, guys. The no peeking screen came up right while I was totally not clicking the force push button. Totally not. I mean, whoa, you don't see force push on there. That was a joke, guys. You were supposed to be like, ha, 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 he did a... Because of course I did, because I don't care about this branch. So, in case you guys aren't aware, I keep protections on the dev branch and the master, like on dev branches and master branches. I'm less worried about joinable game, for example. If I mess up joinable game by a force push, it doesn't really matter because that branch only has a couple of, you know, minor commits on it already. We could start this one over and I wouldn't really care. Really? What bug do you think exists here, thing? Why are you redlining that? Really? Thanks, Malachi. Appreciate it. I'm actually surprised. I fully expected like a whole chat full of people to be like, unfollowed. I'm amazed it was only one. I was like, unfollow bait right there. I was going for it. Okay, why is this? Async awake. That is like the exact situation where I'm gonna force push every time. There's no reason. It's like you're telling me you guys don't ever do that. That's what you do after a rebase, man. You guys will survive, trust me. Welcome to the real world. I also recommend that people, if you actually bork your Git solution. Really? What's this complaining about? Hang on, I think it's just confused. Okay. So I will recommend that if you actually care about whatever branch it is you're messing with, don't force push. But and yeah, Hello's just right. So like, you know, I want to do a rebase instead of a merge because I don't want to have a merge commit. Like, you know, if I end up with 4 merge commits, it's really annoying. I'd much rather have a cleaner history that's a lie. Especially when all those are easy ones. I use git force choke for all of my commits. Nice. Okay, so here is what we want to do. Let's take a look at what these changes are, and that did sort out whatever the solution was. So I told you it was just Visual Studio. Like I just had to open and close and open the project because Visual Studio in Solution Explorer for some reason was thinking that there was something wrong when there was nothing wrong. Okay, so let's take a look at history here. I apparently made a couple of changes. So I made a joinable game as an abstract class and started pulling out joinable game concepts into this. And then what was this one? Add a to-do comment and a bit of code cleanup. So it's really just this commit so far. We started pulling out the join game result and getting rid of the other things related to the quiz and making them related to a joinable game. So let's take a look at those. Joinable game. Open it up, and what do we got? So a joinable game is an abstract class implementing the iGame interface. And what did we pull in here? We pulled attempt to join. I like it. That's a good one. Attempt to join is going to be part of all of these. And what implements this? Okay, so I did this just from QuizGame right now. Looks like. Watch the video about making the croissant and now I'm hungry. Oh, Malachi! Yeah, that's why you don't... Yeah, when someone talks about delicious pastries, you let them talk about it and you pretend you have no idea what they're talking about or you'll just be hungry. I highly recommend against thinking about what kind of pastries he was saying. Yeah, we could talk about that. That might be possible. Let's see. We want to hop over here. Joinable game. Leave quiz operation. Guest quiz operation. Join game result. Static results. Let's change this file name to match this. Rename file to match type. That'll be way less confusing. So we said static results, join game result, join game result, join game result. What are the other references to this? They're in heist command. They're in here. There they are. I'm going to do that, and then head back over to the static results again. Sounds good, Malachi. Actually, you know what I just realized? I'm going to put these back over here. Move that to its own stuff. So it's going to be in its own file. These are the heist join game results. But it's still a join game result. This is just the ones it uses. So I think that's going to be fine having this in here. Generic base class, hello Jean, which thing? What do you want to have a generic base class? I kind of want the heist game to be a joinable game. Quiz game is game joinable. There we go. That's what I want to steal is that, and then in this one. Basically, is game running, and a generic base class for the join results. I don't think we need it, actually. Yeah, Aloja. So what I was debating was doing a partial class on it, actually. And what I was thinking was that we could set it up as a partial so that you'd always access it the same way, but each one could add to it as it liked. The problem is this. Partial classes, for anybody that doesn't know, in C# allow you to define a class in 2 separate files, but as far as I know, this may not be true anymore, but you can't have 2 pieces of a partial class be defined in separate assemblies. And so one of the advantages of this of having the definitions be in separate files is you could put them in separate assemblies. So that is actually the reason why we would want to do that. And if we can't put them in separate assemblies, there's not much value in it in the first place. So that is the problem. Okay, so the joinable game has a constructor that we're going to need to pass something into. Looks like it's the automated action result that it's going to need. So I am going to come down here, and I am going to say base, passing in the automated action system that we have there. Which, now that I think about it, I wonder if we're going to need the automated action system in here. I don't think we do, because it should have access to this one. So I am going to get rid of it from the heist game and make it use joinable games automated action system. So we're going to go back here, we're going to find these, automated action system, and automated action system. And then these 2 as well. Any others? There we go. So these may not be needed anymore, but I don't know exactly on that. This method's not getting called, but I don't know why. I don't know if it ever was. I mean, it probably was, but I'm thinking that this might be a piece of the joinable game, like the concept that at some point you have to start the game. That really seems to me like it's part of the joinable game, but we'll see. So, sorry guys, I've got something in my eye that's bugging me. Let's see. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say that a game is joinable if the game is running, and get available roles dot any. So essentially, if the game is running and there are any available roles, the game is joinable. So wait, it's not a method though, it's a bool, and you have to call it. Wait, Robbie, what are you talking about, Robbie W? If you're talking about is game joinable, we could make that a method if you want instead of a read-only property. If that's what you mean. Okay. Attempt to start game. Start heist. Yeah, property like this basically is a method. It could be. Oh, no. I meant this method. This method doesn't get called. Yeah, this wasn't getting called. I don't know. So, we'll see. It claims, ReSharper claims it's not getting called. So whatever called this probably got cleaned up when we were adding joinable game. We'll see what it is though. Okay, so joinable game. Joinable game has attempt to join and create join window. Okay. So, heist isn't a standard join. So, we need to figure out how we handle that. There's a couple of ways. We could make this virtual. So if we make this virtual, then we run into the challenge of... Then what we could have happen is the heist game could override this and essentially call this code, but still then do its own steps. So, for example, get a result out of this. So whether or not the person's already in the game, whether it's the time to join the game or not, and then essentially say if it got a successful join, then it's going to do one final check to make sure that you can get your role. And if so, if you can get your role, it's going to return back its own successful join result, for example. So we'll see. Heloja, when would someone favor a method over a property with a getter or vice versa? So in C#, there's not much difference between a getter property and a method. When we're talking technically speaking, Heloja, it mostly comes down to what other developers are going to expect. And most of the time, we expect that a method is going to be doing some kind of effort, and a getter is possibly going to do it. So most developers are going to see a getter and think there might be something going on, or it could just be a backing field. Whereas when they see a method, they'll assume that it's not just a backing field, if that makes sense. So, in this case, the method would be more explicit in what's going on, but the getter can be the same. And the reason you might write it just as a getter is because if our heist game had no additional check and was just, and is running, then it would make a lot of sense for it to be a property, for example, if this is all it was. Right? If this was the code, property totally makes sense. Because it'd be really weird for this to be a method. A method that just checks a Boolean property and returns is a really silly method. But this one could be a method or a property. And so that's why it's all about what another developer is going to expect and trying to make the code as readable as possible. So it's a tough call. There's not a solid answer on that one for what someone's going to expect. I'm thinking we want to do this with a virtual, though, and make it so that the heist game can override and run it differently. So, because we have these attempt to join heist calls here, and I would like those to use our join game code. So, we're going to say override attempt to join all we passed in was user? What in the heck? That was dumb, me. Why did we only do that? We weren't thinking ahead. We'll correct this mistake, everyone. We'll correct this one. Okay, what called this? Join quiz operation. Okay. We could pass in a full command, received event args. That seems overkill. Event args dot command word, no arguments though. We could pass in the chat user and the arguments. What if we got an iList of string inside of this? What are people's thoughts on this one? Anybody have a strong idea of that? I worry because in some games you'd want to join and the parameter would matter. In other ones it wouldn't at all. So it's my only concern here is that we don't necessarily want to pass in extra data if we're not really going to use it. But I guess arguments might be about the best thing we can get here. Because we need it to be... I guess we could say that you're only allowed one optional argument. Yeah. Robbie W. I don't know. I need to dig for that one. It's gonna be a tough one to find. So apologies to Async Awake and Robbie W. I know you're both waiting for me to post that to YouTube. For anybody that's wondering, there are video archives of some of our early. Is the bot not running? I don't have the bot running. Why don't I have the bot running? I tried to link the YouTube channel in there, but I'm not running the bot right now. So, in order to make sure the bot's running, let me get the bot going here, everybody. Build failed. None take two arguments. We're going to remove these. We'll put those right back in a minute. I just want to be able to get the bot going. Yeah, Malachi. Somehow I doubt it. For anybody that's wondering, I am going to put those up on here. There are some of the early videos are out on YouTube, but I don't think I have the beginning. I don't think I have the actual start on there. It seems to be what people are saying. So I will need to track that video down. I should have it. Because I download the videos off of Twitch, so I have a local copy of them. I don't record locally while I'm sending this up here because I just want to make sure that that everything gets up to you guys smoothly. And I know you're going to be surprised by this, but running this whole stream, for example, takes upwards of between 5 and 8% of my CPU. Oh wait, never mind, that's nothing. I was kidding. It doesn't actually tax my machine to run this. It's my ISP that sometimes fails. Yeah. No, it's more the idea that it's text. Hellosia, how much change do you think this is running? Yeah, Async Awake, I got your question. I could talk about my machine. It's actually an old computer. This is so I actually do my dev work on a 4-year-old machine. But when I got it, this is a very powerful machine from 4 years ago. So, it's still an i7. I'm really in love with the i9s. I want to get an i9. So, anyway, so the bot's running. So that is nice. Yeah, Malachi. There are so many great machines. I'm really tempted to go get a nice new machine, but I also don't want to because I really don't want to spend the money on a new computer because as much as I want the new computer, I don't really need to spend the money on a new computer because this one does fine for now. It's not slow. Propagated, welcome. Welcome, everyone. Hopefully everybody is having a fantastic Tuesday. By the way, it's Taco Tuesday, everyone, so I think you know what that means. Yeah, exactly, Malachi. That is the problem, is I have no idea why that held you up there, Propagated. Yeah, exactly. What I have an i7 and DDR4 RAM in this thing. It's good enough. So yeah, that's right. I have 4-year-old DDR4 RAM. So when I got it, DDR4 was actually pretty nice. Welcome everyone sounded like from Donovan Brown. Well, I have no idea. I just kind of said it. That sounds like someone that's on TV, and I don't watch much TV. Okay. I want to say one of these. One of these. There we go. Here's what we're going to add. We're going to add one of these into each one of these calls that's broken. I'm just going to add a new empty array of arguments for now. So that ought to fix it. Let me catch up on chat. Unless you compile Scala, then you need 20 core CPU to compile the whole project in your lifetime. Yeah, I don't compile Scala. Floodgris 94, hello, welcome. What do I work with as a job? I work on primarily Microsoft technologies, ASP.NET, C#. Oh, okay. No idea. Don't know him, Janiscu. I caught just a clip yesterday. How did implementing logging go? Very well propagated. You'll see loggings right here. So if we, start the rock paper scissors command, you'll see that the bot registers that oh, DevChatter is running the rock paper scissors command, and it'll say starting new game. So we added in some logging. Right now we're just using the console logger, but we are set up so that we could add any additional logger that we wanted, and it should work just fine, because we've got it fairly abstracted away. So, should work nicely. And Floodgris, to continue answering your question further, I am an independent consultant, and I do, so I work with some clients just writing code for them. When people need me to just join on a project that sounds interesting, I will hop on and work with them. Till, welcome. Hi. And then additionally, I do a lot of mentoring work. So I will hop on calls with clients, and I will pair with them for a while, talk to them about their code base, ways they can improve it, and work with dev teams to help improve what they do. So I've got a number of clients that I work with that I do that with. I sometimes do training workshops where I go to companies and I will work with their team and essentially have them go through some workshops, learn some new technology, things like that. That's primarily what I do these days, so it's fun. I like it. Welcome everybody. Actually, Malachi, I do teach that as part of Git workshops, and I'm actually not kidding. I do teach people when to force push and when not to, because that is actually a very good lesson, because there are some things that you will need to force push from time to time, but what you never want to do is force push on like a dev branch or a master branch, or if you don't know that the state of things is safe. So there are a lot of those kinds of things. It is actually an important thing. And one of the other lessons I teach on Git that a lot of people really do need to know is that sometimes it's easier to just delete your local copy and reclone. Because people will ask me, I'm not kidding, they'll be like, hey, how do I fix this problem? And I'll be like, okay, this is how you fix the problem. But that'll take you 15 minutes to do. You're better off just deleting and cloning because that'll take you 1. So it's kind of funny. Malachi, I know, force push all the time after rebasing a feature branch. Not always, Malachi, but you are correct. When you rebase a branch, you're often going to have to do a force push, which actually the answer for not doing a force push, if you want to avoid it, if you care, which I don't for this, but if you do want to be a stickler and you want to do it right, the correct answer is not to do a force push. It's actually to branch off of that new branch and then push that one. So if I wanted to do it right, what I would do is I would go to my branch and I would branch off of my branch, essentially getting a new pointer, rebase, and push that up. And then once I was sure that that new one was right, I'd actually delete the old branch. So that way, once it merges in, I delete both branches. That's really the better way to do it. But I don't care for the stream. And I would actually recommend other people take that same approach in a lot of instances. Because there are some points where, like, this is not the best way, but you got to be practical at some point. So I teach development teams how to be productive and practical. And some of the times it's like, yeah, there's a right way to do it, but the right way's not better. Because, you can seriously have devs waste hours trying to fix things. Exactly. Like I said, 1 minute versus 15 minutes. Like, you could do it that way or you could do it this way. So the idea is try to be safe. Don't do something stupid. And if you're not sure, pause and think about it. But there's no reason to... you don't even know what I'm talking about Git. So, in Git, so this is what came up. So I did a rebase, and then I did a force push of my feature branch. And that's the idea. Technically, what I should do if I wanted to do it right was I would make a new branch and I would push up that new branch rather than force pushing over the old one. But it doesn't really make a difference. So, a force push is basically power GitHub for Windows ChatGPT. Wait, what is GitHub for Windows? Oh, propagated. Give me a break. And actually, the funny thing is, Propagated, are you saying you don't like GitHub for Windows? Wait, hang on. You're saying you don't like GitHub for Windows, Propagated? I like GitHub for Windows. What are you talking about, man? You don't like GitHub for Windows? Wait, a picture of me? Let me see. You could use WSL and bash through it. Yeah. Sounds like a lot of fun and varied work week. Been learning a lot from your stream. Glad to hear it, Floodgress. Started CS and got very interested in programming, and your stream has been the reason why I think I'm joining the C#. Yeah, so I am a big fan of C#, Floodgress. I didn't actually pick it up until like the 2005, 2006 is when I switched over to C#, and I've been a big fan of it. So, it's very good. Awesome, I'm glad you guys are enjoying it, though. Malachi, wait, go back to that picture. Wait, picture of me? What do you mean? Oh, on Pluralsight? How old am I? Yeah, so if you switched before I came over, you might not be a fan. You're talking about, like, this picture of me? That looks a little bit like me, doesn't it? Look, it's me. See? That's my me impression. So, and yeah, that stuff's out of date. I don't know, Malachi. I may have. I don't know when that picture was taken. My weight has fluctuated. So my weight varies over the years. I've got like this 50-pound like variance that I bounce between. So, don't worry, I won't. But then you pulled out PowerShell. Don't worry, I won't tell anybody. Oh, Propagated. I use PowerShell all the time. Heck, I use it in that course. Wow, you guys are just trying to guess straight to the word. That's kind of funny. We really should, on the Hangman game, limit how many guesses you can actually make. Oh, I think I know the word. Did I get it? Oh, I got in there first. O is faster to type than the whole word there, guys. I win. I win. Yeah, that's right. Oh, man. There we go. I swear it's not rigged. Haha, yeah. Mushroom's seriously one of the hardest words in there. Hey, not in the chat you don't have delay. I've got the same delay you guys do on the chat. Don't give me that. Don't give me that. Yeah, exactly, Janiscu. Type faster. Hacks. What are you guys kidding? I'm using a wireless keyboard. You have all the advantage. Okay, yes, Elosion, the hardest one is all the unit ones. Well, that's your own fault there, Malachi. You should look at the other chat then. Okay, so it can't copy that file. That's okay. We're going to go ahead and, since we're not doing that anyway, I'm going to go ahead and restart the thing. Okay, yeah, Mom and Dog, I use a wireless keyboard. I use one of these. See? Look at that. Yeah. It's nice. Yeah, Malachi, it's a really nice keyboard. I'm a big fan. MS logging, right? Propagated, yeah, we're using the MS logging, but we actually have we have an abstraction layer over top of it. And yeah, so we could leverage nlog and Seralog or any other logger propagated. So we're not locked into that, and that's very intentional. I've thought about swapping for an MX keyboard, but can't decide which one. There are so many good keyboards. Actually, so I love this keyboard for programming because the amount of time between when I click and when it goes on the screen doesn't matter for coding. It's long, like it can catch up to me, and that's fine. I don't need to see the letters immediately show up like when I press it. But for gaming, I actually switch to another keyboard because I need the immediate response in a lot of games, and I can't take wireless lag on a lot of games. Yeah, so, yeah, Janiscu, I've had people comment that my delay's been almost instant at some points. I think it varies based on where you are in the world as well. Yeah, Propagated, you should be able to see it there in the commits. We've got some good stuff in there. Yeah, Robbie, I do game. Currently, the game I like that I play a lot of is called Dead by Daylight. So if anybody here knows Dead by Daylight, that's my game right there. It's fun. So I'm gonna laugh. Someone in chat knows Dead by Daylight, I'm sure. Seriously? No one here knows Dead by Daylight? How did no one chime in on that? Figured there'd have to be a gamer in here. Oh, Dead by Daylight's not your style. Okay. No. Yeah, Fritz. Okay, Dead by Daylight is one that I'm gonna have. Hang on. A wiki article will be safe, so I'll bring that onto screen. Yeah, so Dead by Daylight it has its problems. Oh, Robbie, I used to play Overwatch all the time. I would still love to play it. I just don't have time for it anymore. I'm so yeah, it's this one. It's fun. I like it. So, it's a horror game. Basically, how to phrase it? A bunch of you are survivors trying to survive a serial killer that's trying to kill you. That's the short answer. So, one player's playing a serial killer that's trying to kill the other players. I enjoy playing one of the people that's trying not to die. Yeah, exactly, Async Awake. That's why I pulled up the wiki article, because I figured that was all about the best I could do in terms of bringing that up. And Malachi, actually, you might be talking of Friday the 13th, the game, which is different. Robbie, I also have a mass ton of hours logged on Overwatch, mostly in playing the 3v3 that I used to do. I have this problem where I play 30 minutes of any game and I feel like I'm wasting my life, but rewriting a program from 2 years ago for no reason, spending tens of hours is just fine. Yeah, so that's part of the challenge is many of us have a variety of hobbies, so plenty of us play video games and write code. So, okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at code. Speaking of code, so we're going to pass in the arguments, and I want to change the joinable game so that we can make, so it's virtual, and then in the heist game I want to do this. We want to override that and have an iList of string arguments, and we're going to pass in arguments. There we go, and currently this should basically do nothing. How about wasting life watching other people code? Nice, guys, nice. Yeah, programming is awesome. Funkmaster F, howdy, Eric from last time. Wanted to follow up with something I said would be nice in VS LiveShare. I wanted to be able to have an easy way to jump to where Brendan was. If you click the icon at the top right of the container name of the breeze, it will, if you don't click away, it will keep you focused on the cursor, even if they change files. Yes, Funkmaster F, that is correct. It does that. 145, the person with all your numbers, who I'm not going to read all of them. Hello, welcome. Learning how to code kind of took away some of the magic of video games, at least for me. Yeah, Helosha. Especially the simpler ones. Don't shame me. Yeah, well, I think a lot of people here enjoy watching programming. Not for me, it made me more amazing. Programming is like woodworking, but you don't have to pay for the wood. Yeah, there you go. You pay for the clouds. Okay, that's fair. If you want to get your stuff hosted, you do kind of have to pay for that. And we pay for tools sometimes as well. Let's go ahead and stop the bot again. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here. Hopefully everybody's enjoying the stream. It's been a fun one today. And as a reminder, we're gonna pull James Chambers in on Thursday, which is impressive. I didn't think we'd get him two streams in a row, but I'm good with that. And there are a couple of other people that I want to get on stream again soon also. So I'm going to try to get Saduki back on here. I'm going to ask her if she wants to hop on a stream sometime and her schedule permits. And I will probably be inviting Funkmaster F or Eric back if he wants to join again. Yes, Malachi, he is on here to promote his bakery that is not near any of you and doesn't deliver as far as I know. Certainly doesn't deliver all the way to me, so yeah, really good cross promotion there for the bakery. He's a master of marketing, clearly. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to get what the join game result is, and I want to say if it was successful, if join game result, whoops. No. Join game result dot success. Then we want to do stuff. Otherwise, we're going to return. Actually, I don't need to otherwise, because we'll return down there, and I'll just make sure I return in here. Okay, let's see. What was going on out here? Someone wanted to start a heist? What's going on? Someone said hello, heist. Are you going to do more coding challenges? Yes, Till Mama Dog, I'm absolutely going to do more coding challenges. That's actually something I wanted to talk to you guys about before the end of the stream. And yeah, so chocolate stuff, the skeet command, coins, hangman, yeah, so you guys are trying out all the commands. Okay, so I'm actually going to bring it up now. I want to get some feedback from all of you. So, here is my question. So, Till asked me up there if I was going to do any more coding challenges, and I am planning on doing more coding challenges, but I wanted to talk to you guys about that. So I currently do 4 DevChatter streams a week. We do Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And you can, if you're on Twitch, you can see that schedule down below, because that's when they're going to be live. Knowing the schedule is less relevant if you're watching a recording of this. if you want to see the schedule, as I said, if you're on Twitch, it's down. It should be down below in the panels, and it's in your. It should put it in your time zone. It's going to figure out where it thinks you are and put that in your time zone. But you can also use the schedule command that the bot has, and if you pass in your UTC offset, which mine is -4 Eastern Time in the U.S. During the summer at least, and then so we do those 4 streams a week, and I kind of want to talk to you guys about maybe dedicating once a week doing some kind of a coding challenge instead of just a I believe the limit on that is 18 there, Malachi. So the idea is like dedicating 1 a week to doing a coding challenge and having the remaining 3 be our normal ones. So if people like that idea, then we could probably do that. And that does not mean that the coding challenge won't necessarily also be a pair programming one, because we could certainly bring on a pair to do a coding challenge together. And to answer your question of is pair programming with VS LiveShare a gadget, it's actually this here. There's a new extension inside of Visual Studio that lets me do a collaboration session. So earlier in the stream, up in that top right corner up there, we had James Chambers pairing with us from the top right corner. He'll be back on Thursday probably to do some more pairing. And essentially we just click this button, it gets me a link, I send that link to James, he clicks the link, and then his Visual Studio connects to my Visual Studio, and he is able to actually work on the files over here, and I get to see his cursor moving around and everything, and I can actually click a button and like watch as he goes through the files on my machine and makes changes. So it's really great for collaboration. It feels very similar to like editing in Google Docs or Office 365 when, you know, that kind of thing where you see the other person's cursor. You can edit the same files at the same time, or you can be working in separate files. It's actually really cool. Obviously, this is a public preview right now, so this is not even like a beta. So, like, it's going to have quirks, it's going to have kinks, there are going to be problems, but it still sounds awesome. Okay, sounds like a great idea. It doesn't become too stale and too overwhelming for new people. Yeah, exactly, Till. That is part of the problem, is the bot is a little bit advanced, and I want to have some content that is still always at a beginner level. But I would specifically like that one-off stream to be beginner friendly. I think that's a real niche, and more people would appreciate it lots. Yeah, Async Awake. So that's part of the reason for doing those, is they will always be beginner friendly. If I'm doing some kind of a coding challenge, they'll at least be a little beginner. Like some aspects of it will be great for beginners. Malachi, I hope managers don't start using VS LiveShare to monitor people. Like explaining very fundamental concepts while you solve challenge at the beginning and building mini problems, but you have to get that out of the other 3 streams. I like the idea of solving a challenge on stream. I like the idea of doing some boilerplating. I think that's why people want to watch the early videos in the chat to see what the architecture decisions look like. Yeah, exactly. Yep, okay, so I will definitely do some of that. How professional programmers deal with basic problems are good for everyone. Yeah, so that's actually why I don't script things here. And that is that I want to be able to run into a problem and show you guys like how I get around the problem when I run into it. Even if that means Googling, because legit, that's something that we all have to do, and like, if you're not Googling to solve a problem, you're not really a professional developer. You're some, you know, inhuman that knows, apparently should just be programming everything, and why do I even have a job? Yes, Stack Overflow, what's that? Never feel bad about Googling and going to Stack Overflow. Everyone does it. Everyone. Even John Skeet asks questions on Stack Overflow. Okay, so here's what I was thinking. So we're gonna say if the join game result that we got back from our from the base join game, joinable game, was a success, then that means we can check the stuff that is specific to a heist. So that means something like this. Let's see. Nope, if you don't Google, you spend 10 times the time to figure out something trivial. Exactly, Malachi. You throw your error in Google, and there's usually an answer. Did you hear about the guy that copy-pasted directly from Stack Overflow into an official Nissan car app? Nice. Yeah, I'm not Googling. Yes, you're reading the distributed documentation. Speaking of which, guys, there's actually a concept that I want to talk to you about, which is related to what 1459836 just said. Welcome, Wheelspin. How's it going? And the concept is this. I often hear people say that they are self-taught. And I may have mentioned that on stream before. Not a huge fan of the idea, like, saying, oh yeah, no, I'm self-taught, right? Which is kind of one of those, like, well, I mean, yeah, sorta. Like, I get what you mean. You didn't have a formal education on programming is probably what you mean. There wasn't anyone that sat you down and said, like, hey, here's how you do this. But I kind of like to think that you're not self-taught, you're probably community-taught. I would give you self-taught if you sat in your room, not connected to the internet, with no books, never checking any manual pages, and just pounded on stuff until it worked. Then I'd give you self-taught. But I think what most of us say when we say we're self-taught at something is that we at least read the documentation or Googled for answers. So I like the idea that we are community taught. So, like, yeah, I'm not, like, oh yeah, I don't have a formal background in this, I'm community taught, right? I like that. I like that concept better. Because what I want to do is I want to give credit where it's due, like the community. Because there are a lot of people out there that write blog posts and articles and documentation and all this great stuff that benefits all of us. And it's fantastic work they're all doing. And I want to make sure that we all go and say, like, no, yeah, these people are great. They did a service for us all. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to take arguments, success, arguments, and we're going to say question mark dot element at, or default. Which argument do we want? The first argument's join, no, in this one, I think it's argument 1 for a heist game. Let's see, nobody said, I went to uni and it's the only difference that I received some guidance. Yeah, heist. Oh. I'll join the heist. I think there's a spot left for me. I'm a thug? What? How did I end up as a thug? What is this? This is crazy. Chat user dot display name. Oh, because I force pushed. I guess that makes me a thug then, huh? Yeah, that's clever, Malachi. Yeah. Yep. I guess I deserve that one, everybody. I didn't deserve that one. I didn't deserve that. What did I ever do to you, Malachi? I mean, I was just writing code here on stream, and then you gotta treat me like this? Alright. So that's how we do that one. So this gets me their role. If we do that, so that's a try parse, we got the role, contains key, then that. Otherwise, we weren't able to get it, so hang on, this needs to be... Because I don't know what happens if you give a null value to a try parse, it might blow up on that, so I don't want to give it that one, so let's figure out what it does. Somehow we managed to complete it! Oh man, don't you wish that the system actually gave us tokens for that? I think this... Shouldn't only subscribers have the ability to start it? Is it? I can't remember if the heist game's locked down to only subscribers being able to start it or not. I can't remember. Wheelspin. To answer the question of what... seems like the bot is getting to know us. Yeah, exactly, Twitchloff. What am I doing? I am extracting out the concept of a joinable game. So, that is what we're trying to do here. Arid Tag, Brendonius, Nightbot, yep. There is actually a pull request to get rid of the known bots, like Nightbot, from our list. That it's got a couple of kinks that we need to work out still, which I will be talking to the contributor about that. So it's actually a very good implementation. I like it. But there are a couple of kinks that don't have anything to do with the pull request, but have a little bit to do with more complexity in the project. So I did mark that as one of the ones that a beginner could tackle, but I was expecting a beginner to take a simpler approach. And WTF Blub did the, like, I think that's the person that did the change, or that it was Machiavelli. They both made some changes recently. Yeah, it was Blub that did it. And so Blub did the better approach, but the problem is that means that we actually have to cover a couple of bits of complexity that are going to make this a little bit harder. And Malachi, I like F#, but I don't know it well enough. I want to get an F# person on stream so we can do some pairing on F#, so other people can see the cool stuff that we can do with it. So I like F# as an additional tool to be able to use in our projects. So the idea being that F# could be doing some of the stuff in our code, but not necessarily always all of it. Okay, here's what I want to do. Split into two if statements. And now I want to reverse this one. I don't want to return that in that case, as much as it wants to do that. I want to say if we didn't get one, this is where we get a random one. Where's my heist game? There it is. Get available roles. Oh man. We're gonna do this. If not success, return static results. Nope. I want to get where was my random one? Was it above or below me? Above me. Right here. Was not a success, do this. Yes, I'm going to clean this all up, guys. Step 1, make it work. Step 2, yeah, okay, yeah, see, even Willspin saying complicated much? Yeah, don't worry, we're going to simplify. We're going to make it work, and then we're going to yank these back out. We're going to refactor it soon. Don't worry, don't worry. We no longer need to do it in that weird way. We can now just put this in here. Okay, so that was if it's exceeded. So that means that we did a full one. If not, then we were going to pass one in here. Malachi, yes, that's a tuple. Welcome to C#7. Yeah, Till, sorry about that. I can explain a little bit. So this is actually not from the last stream. This is actually from, this is code that we're using that is from last Friday's stream that we're working on right now. And the first hour of this stream, we were actually working on something else. So the first hour of this stream, just so you know, we were working on the ASP.NET conversion, so essentially building a web front end to this. So we will be getting that going again on Thursday. We're going to continue on the ASP.NET stuff. So we pulled in James Chambers, and I figured, hey, we're going to build a whole web piece. Like, let's pair program this instead of just doing this one solo. Speaking of solo, isn't that coming out soon? I think there's a solo movie coming out soon. And Malachi, haven't used C# in 2 years. Well, I will tell you, C# 7 is actually pretty nice. And I'm looking forward to C# 8, because there are a couple of things in it that I would really like to do. Oh, Solo is already out. I need to go see it then. Did that come out last week? Why didn't I know? I'm going to go see it then. Thank you for the heads up. Maybe I should have gone yesterday. Yes, Malachi. Not nullable reference types, but actually, like, the fact that nullable reference types allows me to have non-nullable reference types. So that is a feature of C# 8 that I'm looking forward to having. You have an ASP.NET Core 2 API and you want to deploy it on any server, Google Cloud for example. Can anyone help me with it? Any sort of good tutorial or something? Ooh, that is a good question. Like, you need free hosting of an ASP.NET Core API. Is that what you need? Yeah, because I was going to say, you should be able to make an Azure account that can do it. So, as Malachi suggests there, I think you can get some minimal amount of Azure free. Free Azure account. I don't remember what's in a free Azure account these days. Sadly, I don't know these things because I haven't needed one in a while. Okay, well, they won't tell me without actually logging in and doing it. So we're not going to see that right now. Yeah, so Malachi is correct. You should be able to set up a free account and do a right-click, just publish up to Azure to be able to do that. Hopefully it works. Okay, so what did we do? We grabbed the... we did not get a role. So we do this. We get them a random roll. If we don't, we get them that. Otherwise, we come down here. We say if it contains key, roll's already taken. Otherwise, we return back a... We don't want to return their join result. We want to return our join result. So we need to return back a heist join results dot success join result for chat user dot display name and roll. I think that's the code that will make that work. I'm using Azure 100% free right now. It's hosting a small web app for displaying blood sugar levels. Till, that's actually pretty awesome. That is a really good use of a free Azure small web app. I'm not sure if I like that they're introducing some functional stuff that encourage you to break OO concepts. Yeah, Malachi, there are a couple of things that they're doing that are, I'll say, quality of life improvements for developers. That's what a lot of things have. But a couple of them open up a can of worms. And we'll have to see how they do the implementations of these, because default implementations in interfaces is one of the more controversial ones. So with all these things, it depends on how they build it. So we'll see what we get in the end. So we're in some code that's fairly safe-ish. User not display name right there. Join heist. There we go. we aren't necessarily going to do this the way that I've got this in here. So we'll see. So this clearly isn't going to stay. I'm going to change that. Don't worry there. But this code might not live to see much more than what it's already seen. In fact, I might even branch before I commit this, so branch off of my feature branch. That's how experimental this piece is. And yeah, Malachi, so they've added a lot of... So for anybody that doesn't know, a lot of the changes that get added into C#, at least the recent ones, are things that make C# more like F#. So that has pretty much been the story of C# for a long time now. It's becoming more and more like F# as time goes on. And I say that because they're just adding pieces of non-object-oriented concepts to the language, which is really awesome for us as developers, because we get a lot more freedom to do stuff. Not that it's always a good idea to just do something for the sake of doing it, but there are some nice pieces still. I want to see what I can do here. So that's, if this was successful, do this. Why my keyboard shortcuts aren't working? Rage. That one specifically wasn't working. Do thing. Return do thing. Thank you. Yeah, I have a feeling it's not the keyboard there, Till. I know, I need to hit it harder. Let me see if I can break the keyboard. Okay, what do we want to do? So we can choose a random item, we can do that, we can do that. So we're well taken, so contains key, so... let's see. What do I want to do? If it was a successful joining, then I want to do this. So, handle heist joining. That's a better name for it. So this is like attempt to join, and this is handle heist joining. Return the result. So we're basically saying if it wasn't a success, return back that one. Otherwise, do the heist joining one. So, ever broken a keyboard as a young lad? No, not that I know of. I don't remember breaking any keyboards. But now, you know, like, I don't know. Not been a problem. Okay, well, tell you what, I'm gonna get this commit anyway, and I am gonna put it on this branch. So joinable game into the heist game. Mainly because things are shifting around a decent amount till I'm planning on extracting methods and things like that. So a lot of times what I'll do if I am going to put in comments is I would put in a comment and then immediately get rid of the comment when I made it a method. So the idea, once you can't get any more things extracted out as methods or make anything clearer, then you can put in comments. It's generally what I like to do. Hey! Thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. I would dance, but, you know, well, you guys don't want to see me dance. I mean, I can do, like, the head thing. But, awesome. Thank you. Please enjoy your DevChatter emote. DevChatter! Alright, guys, we need some dinosaurs in the chat. DevChatter. More dinosaurs. There aren't enough dinosaurs. I need to actually get that as a sticker at some point. Some kind of a DevChatter little dinosaur thing. Dev dance. I don't know. We're not actually doing a dev dance. I was kidding. So yeah, Till. So there are certain types of comments I like. If I'm doing a public method somewhere that someone needs a comment about what it is explaining, then yes, exactly. Yes, see, as Malachi was saying, so certain comments, especially on a public API, a comment is a very useful thing, like the comments where you do one of these, right? And I can explain what all the parameters are and what the purpose of the method is. Because on a public API, that's not always clear and is very useful to have, especially if you're writing a library, where we're not really writing a library, so we don't need to cover that as much. However, as Malachi mentioned, the thing that you want to do in a comment is, for the most part, a comment should explain why you did a certain thing. So, for example, I could put a comment and say, you know, had to use old style casting, for example, right? So that people know, oh, that was intentional, right? So that no one comes along later and says, oh, why'd you do this, and gets rid of it. So that'd be a use for a comment there. But what you want to avoid is doing a comment like this, where I say something like, let me give you an example. If this code were up here, you might write a comment that says, reset the heist, right? But better than a comment is what I had. I put it inside a method called reset the heist. So that's a lot of times what you want to do is try and make the code clearer. And I consider most of the time when I put in a comment, like if I put in a comment that explains what something does, not necessarily why I did it that way, but if I explain what I'm doing, what that means is I am personally recognizing the fact that I have failed to convey that from the code, and I now need to explain my code to you, because I did not write clear enough code. So yeah, as Till says, code should be self-documenting. So that doesn't mean I don't write comments, because there are points where I know I do need comments to explain things. But every time I put it in, that's basically an acknowledgement that I couldn't get the code better for that. So yeah, no, so Till, okay, so some people here might know, I actually used to run, so for 2 different consulting organizations, I have run internship programs where I would have, 5, 6 interns at any given time. Skatergun234, welcome, thanks for following. So as I was saying, I would have a handful of interns at any given time that were working within the organization, but then I was also just doing dev within the organization. And with those interns, what I would tell them is, you're going to see how to write real code here. This is, and like, we're going to teach you things like the fact that you comment why, and you comment when you couldn't make the code clear enough. And you don't comment all the time. And what I would tell them is, when you go back to school, because most of our interns were students at universities, I would tell them, when you get back to your classroom, your teacher thinks that comments are like the holy grail of coding. So comment every single line of code explaining what that line of code does. This is totally worthless, and you don't need to do this, because the only person that would find value in those comments is someone that does not understand the programming language. And so the idea is, it's like, okay, so if I were writing this for a beginner, that's good. Like, I'm putting this in an article. So I don't want to be critical. Like, if you're new to programming, comments are super, super useful. Like, if I'm reading an article and I'm looking at an example, I want that commented. So when I write code for an article, I comment the code explaining what is going on, not just why. And that's valuable and awesome. The problem is, when you write it for other professionals that are expected to know the language already and know the technology, the comment should be why you did it this way, not what you were doing. Because hopefully they can read that. If they can't, and you do need to put in the what you were doing, then you probably should find a different way of doing it. Because you're probably trying to be too clever. So, and that's something that all of us have challenges with. we as developers will often try to do something clever because it's cool to do something clever. And we need to call each other on that. I don't care how good a developer you are, we all try to do clever stuff. So, and sometimes clever stuff is good, if clever still means obvious and effective. But occasionally clever also means obscure. So, I++, increment I by 1. Yeah, that's exactly, you need to comment on that. Yes, clearly. I have seen those comments as well, Till. There are plenty of people that do those kinds of comments, and it's always ridiculous. Okay, so, here's what I wanted to talk to you guys about for a moment. I want to talk to you all about the idea of doing some coding challenges. So, I have done some coding challenges before, and sometimes on the stream, the coding challenges that I do are just coding katas. So I haven't done one in a while. However, what I've done in the past is done some coding katas, really programming exercises. And I will pull up some examples of those kinds of things. And we can talk about that. Hang on, sorry, I forgot the semicolon. Oh yeah, super important. Does it mean that nothing can be clever and clear? No, some things can be clever and clear. That's what I was saying, is sometimes they are clever, but they're also clear. And in that case, it's totally fine. As long as everybody understands it. Because a lot of times you're like, oh, that's clever. And you're like, and everybody can read it. And part of that depends on your team. If you know your team, and for example, everyone on your team knows all the link extension methods, you can do a lot of things with link extension methods, and that's totally cool, and it's going to be clear. But if you know you've got a team that's not experienced with that, then you probably want to shy away from them a little bit. And so that's actually the situation you find yourself in. Malachi, that property is perfect. I love that there's a comment to tell you that ID is the ID. Let's see. Caesar, do something. Wait, do I still have... most of the time you don't want clever. Yeah, exactly, Malachi. Most of the time you don't want clever. Although sometimes, if clever is still clear, clever can be useful. Because occasionally that clever actually means, high performance, or, without a lot, means simple sometimes. So clever sometimes means you avoided complexity, and so doing something in a clever way usually just means it's unique, it's interesting. And if you found a way to do it without complexity, that's a good thing. Okay, so one option for what we could do for coding exercises, for things, is doing coding exercises like, we've done FizzBuzz before. That's a simple one that most people here should have done before at some point. I think the one that was brought up earlier today is the fact that I've done the greed kata on this stream before, and that you can actually find out on YouTube. And we might do that again. There are other katas as well, for example, the string calculator kata, which is basically you do this one step at a time without reading ahead, and you basically are building a program. And yeah, see, it's like the idea is be able to complete it within 30 minutes is eventually your goal by doing it repeatedly. So there are interesting things like this. So those are programming exercises and katas. And then there are other things like we could go through interesting programming challenges like we could do these, for example. So these are a bunch of mathematical problems that we could solve on stream as just like experimenty fun things. There are also some other coding challenge websites like this one that we could go and work on together on stream that could be fun. And then additionally, we could do Code Wars. That's another possibility. So as I said, there are a lot of these types of things that we could actually work on. Yeah, and so there are also other interesting things like, hang on, let me catch up on chat. Some people are saying something. On commercial software, you spend the most of your time reading code, not writing it. Yes, exactly. We read and maintain code more often than you write it, which is why you don't want it to be... Yes, the most important thing is that code is readable. People use recursion in weird ways when it's not needed. Yeah, Till. Recursion gets overused. I expect Markdown syntax coloring there. Oh yeah, yeah. The three backticks didn't get you that to be code. If fast code was important, Ruby's on Rails would have died a long time ago. Oh, thanks, Malachi. Advent of code, but they are kind of hard. We could take a look. Code Wars, Let's Code Go Fight. Hacker Rank. Yeah, so there are a lot of things for different coding things. I don't know if you guys know this, but back in the early days of Azure, some of the developer evangelists at Microsoft created a challenge that was called Rock, Paper, Azure. And it was basically you made a bot that would play rock, paper, scissors. You'd make an AI. So that was kind of a fun one. I did that one back in the day. Katas are different than these challenges. Yeah, Malachi. Katas are very different from these. Most of the time. Well, that doesn't work. You'd need that to be an int. Why would you want to take that in as that? That's stupid. Oh, man. Oh, look at my impressive skills, everyone. Master developer right here. Pretty funny. Okay, so... yeah, exactly. Oh, man, yeah. I solved that. I'm a champion. Woo! Awesome. Cool. I'm the best. Yeah, so okay, so sounds like you guys are interested in that. Some other things that I thought would be interesting programming, just like aside things, so not working on projects, writing programs that simulate interesting ideas and concepts. So non-intuitive math problems, for example. I thought would be kind of fun and interesting just to program just so you can like see them happen, so we can prove concepts that, you know, we might all know and find interesting. For example, like you guys might know the Monty Hall problem. We don't care about Monty Hall. We care about the Monty Hall problem, which is this one. And which I guess I can click on this and it's good enough. But some of you might already know this problem, which is basically like, yeah, like monads. Yeah, how did you know? Yeah, that's totally what I meant. We're not, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. This isn't F#. Okay, so the idea being things like the Monty Hall problem, which some of you may know is a non-intuitive thing. And yeah, Twitchloff, I TDD katas every single time. If you check out my things in the past, you'd see that. Have you looked at any of the old videos, Twitchloff? You should check on YouTube. So yeah, that's the idea, is we could do stuff like that. Geo, welcome, thanks for following. And yeah, Async Awake linked to the YouTube videos. So if anybody does want to check those out, take a look on YouTube. And if you haven't, do me a favor and subscribe to the YouTube channel, because I need to get enough subscribers to be able to actually get the URL for it. Because I'd like to have youtube.com/devchatter before someone steals that from me. And they won't let me do that until I have 100 subscribers. Malachi, if you're having trouble with TDD, and you have been writing stuff, something I would recommend, one of the books that I was actually talking about is Working Effectively with Legacy Code. That is actually a very good book that will help you if you're having trouble actually getting things tested. Yeah, Twitchlove. We all have that problem. We have more media that we need to consume than we've got time to consume. Okay, so sounds good. So I am going to plan. Do you people that are here? Do you have a strong preference on which of our streams we do coding exercises and things, or do you want me to shift it around depending on the week? I like the idea of people knowing which days they want to show up for which content, but I'm not set on that if people feel strongly about certain things. Are there certain days that you guys would rather that we work on projects together versus working on exercises and things like that? Thanks, Till. That's awesome. So Async Awake is thinking Monday would be a good day for working on programming exercises. Like mixed content, maybe because I'm a student and I just want to know a bit about everything. Okay. I figure we got a reasonable number of people here that are, easily able to express opinions on that. So, okay. That sounds good. In any case, I'm going to link a couple of things in chat here. It's 8 p.m. here when it's the Monday stream, so that's fine by me. Okay, so yeah, Till, you are 6 hours ahead of me then, which puts you somewhere around Germany. Because I know we have a number of people that are in Germany. Norway, yeah, same time zone. You're just north. Not a country I've been to, actually. Congratulations, you pulled part of Europe I have not been to yet. Yeah, Twitchloft, that could actually be good. I have not watched that one, but yeah. So I have been using unit testing for a long time, and I read Working Effectively with Legacy Code a long time ago. Malachi, I've been there. I have been there. I got that one. So, yeah, Twitchloff, you're another Norway? I haven't been to Norway, guys. Anyway, but I do know we often have some Germans here, and I've been to Germany, too. And Malachi, I've been to Bulgaria also, which is not far from Croatia, either. Yes, Async Awake, Croatia is a beautiful country. There you go. Yeah, see, Async Awake chimed in with that one. Poland and living in the UK. Well, that works. Only Europe. Yeah, so I stream during the day in the United States, so we get a lot of Europeans here. I do know from stats from Twitch that we do actually have a lot of people in the US that are here also. I actually want to go to Norway, Sweden, and Finland. They're all on my list of places that I want to go that I have yet to visit. Yeah, Malachi, I've got an EU friendly time, which is good. I want my time to be friendly to the EU and to the US both, because I want everybody to be able to show up that are at least. I could get the whole world, but the problem is that I would have to stream at really weird times for myself and have alternating streams, so I'd have to do some early morning ones, some middle of the day ones, and some night ones in order to get everybody, and it's just tough for me, so it'd be a difficult one. But anyway, so the things I wanted to catch up on, I want to make sure that I remind everybody that our code is all out on GitHub. Everything we do here is pushed out there. And if you are interested in chatting with any of us, I highly recommend that you join our Discord, because that is a great way to... Don't go to Denmark, huh? Our Discord is a great place to chat with the rest of the people here in DevChatter. A number of us are in there. There's actually a lot of us that are in there, so if you do want to talk about code, just bring something up in there and we can chat about it, whether it's during the stream or not. And there are plenty of people to chat about. If you do want to contribute to any of our projects, I also recommend you get in there so you can talk with us about it, which will make doing a pull request a little easier because you can chat with us. And if you are looking for something to do on the project, you can go take a look at our issues list on the bot. That's the main project we do here, although we have some other projects that we've worked on. But this is a good spot to take a look. If you do want to contribute to an open source project, we can help you figure out how to do that. And hey, if it's your first time contributing to a project and sending a pull request, this is a good spot to do it because we can help you through it. today is Tuesday, which means that our next stream is on Thursday. You can find our schedule down below. You can also ask our bot using the schedule command, and our bot will report back to you what the schedule is as long as you tell it what your UTC offset is. So mine's -4, and it'll tell me that we stream on Mondays at 2, Tuesdays at 2, Thursdays at noon, and Saturdays at 1. So right in the middle of the day here. And yeah, I will catch you all on that next stream on Thursday. But before I disappear, I want to thank C# Fritz for hosting our channel today. So if there's anybody here that stopped by from the C# Fritz channel, I want to thank you for stopping by and welcome you back next time. Yeah, we've been streaming for a little over 2.5 hours, but I don't want to stream too late today because I've got a few things I have to do. And then Twitchloff, thank you for the cheer today. Always appreciated. We had a few people follow, so thank you if you followed us today. And if you do want to catch our next stream and you haven't clicked the follow button, I do recommend it, because then you will get notified when we go live and you can catch the next stream. We're going to start off our next stream with another hour of pair programming with James Chambers, so that will be fun. Canadian James will be here, and we will write some more ASP.NET code together. So we're building the ASP.NET Core web project that is going to be where we do configuration for the bot. So today, all the configuration's done through the Twitch chat, which is, well, awesome. We do want to get a little bit more than that. And Sodza, thank you for following. And if I said your name wrong, let me know, and I will say it better next time. And I also wanted to thank the Polish guy who lives in the UK, and I'm going to take a guess on your name. Now let me think. It's gonna be Jacques Pimplet. You're gonna have to tell me how to pronounce your name, or give me a short name to say, because I'm an American and that means I can't pronounce anything. But at least I can admit that my pronunciation is terrible. So I apologize when I butcher anybody's names, except for a handful that I apparently got right, like Pimplack. All right, Pimplack it is. I can do that. And if I got that right, then awesome. But thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription, and for telling me how to pronounce your name, or at least say a name that is close enough that we're all good with it. Okay, so thanks for the stream. You're welcome for the stream. Thanks for the stream. You're welcome for the stream. Thanks, and you're welcome. Is the web project on its own branch? Yes, Twitchloff. We have that on a separate branch, so that we didn't bring that in. We are going to continue on it in that branch and bring it in on Thursday, probably. If we can get it far enough along that it's actually using a couple of things, even if all it's doing is configuring values in the database, that's probably what we're going to do first, and then bring it in. And then we're not going to make it a separate microservice. And then once we do that, I want to bring the bot actually itself into that web project. So right now, it just runs as a console application, which is fine, because it doesn't really need anything more than that. But I'd like to make it actually be part of the web project itself. So if we can bring it in there, I think that'll be fantastic, because then we're going to be able to do things like starting and stopping the bot from inside the web project, and even doing things like configuring it to connect to the different services. So I think, Twitch and things like that, I think it'd be really awesome. And I'm looking forward to doing that. So hopefully all of you are too. And additionally, keep in mind that now that 2.1 exists, we should be able to make it so that we're actually using SignalR. So because the SignalR for .NET Core is inside of the newest version of .NET Core. So we're going to actually be able to pull that in now from the server side, which is going to be awesome. And Twitchloff, you're asking about the chat window as well. The answer to that is yes. We should be able to bring a chat window in there for the bot, so you could actually see some of that stuff. And yeah, Malachi, I saw that. I'm not sure how that... we're going to have to figure out... Yeah, I don't know whether or not it's going to be able to work with us or not. We'll have to figure that out. But either way, the point is that we're going to be able to have things like the chat and other stuff like that inside of the project, and I think it's going to be awesome. Till, you could make a user profile so we could check out how many tokens we have. Yeah, so Till, we're going to make it so that it's editable in there. Now, I don't know if we're going to have the bot living out on a public place just yet. Starting out, it's probably going to run locally. But once we get into a good spot and we actually have some authentication and other things like that, we might throw it out somewhere on the web, and people would be able to go and check out their own profiles to see things like how many tokens and things like that they have. Yes, so yep, exactly. That is the short answer is to start off with, we're going to have it be local only. And then the reason we're going to do it local only is because then that lets me not have to worry about fully securing it yet. So I can have it just running here and I don't have to deal with that kind of stuff. But yeah, eventually we're going to probably put it out on the internet somewhere. So the bot's just going to be, you know, perpetually available. So what I feel like I want to do is we want to make it so that I'll go to that bot and turn it on. And it'll connect to the chat. And so that'll bring the bot in. The challenge with that is that if we put it out there, the only way that it'll be harder for us to test the bot that way. So it feels like we are still going to want a local one so that I can update the bot as we play. So like, you know, like you can play a game, you can interact with the bot as we develop it. It'll be more fun that way. Use ngrok as a step before publishing out. There's a lot of stuff that we could put into our build process that we're gonna need to figure out. So we'll get it though. That's all stuff that we're gonna handle eventually. We just have to figure it out. So anyway, yeah, so I think we're probably good then. I think I covered all the stuff. Reminders to people, you can follow us on Twitter, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, you can join our Discord, and you can find our schedule down below on Twitch, or you can just check our schedule command. And all of our stuff is out on GitHub. And I think that's all the links that we need to have posted in there for convenience for everyone. And then, yeah, I think that's good. Anyway, thank you for everyone for stopping by, hanging out, and programming with me. And I will see you all in a couple of days. And don't forget, Thursday's the day that we start a couple of hours early. So our Thursday stream starts 2 hours before our Monday and Tuesday streams do. So don't forget, show up early. Make sure you get yourself a good seat, front row. Helps out quite a bit to be in the front row. Probably. I don't know. Anyway, bye everybody.